Welcome back, everybody. I'm Marcio. You're watching The Urban Man. So, obviously, as the description or the title says of this video, Urban Man is going solar. So, I've been contemplating this for a while. I've gotten some quotes, and they're freaking expensive. To go solar is no joke. It's bloody expensive. So, I let it go. This was like about maybe a year and a half ago. I just let it slide by and I'm like, okay, no, this is too expensive. I can't do this. But with South Africa, the way we have load shedding, if you are from overseas, if you don't know what load shedding is, basically our power grid, we have one power supply, Eskom. They cannot supply enough energy. They are failing to maintain their power plants. Their power plants keep on bombing out, if you want to say that. And yeah, we cannot produce enough electricity. So what they've done is they've created this thing called load shedding, and we have time schedules where our power goes off. So at the moment we have load at stage 6. So it goes in stages. You have stage 1, and then the higher it goes, the worse it is. So at the moment we're at stage 6, meaning that we get power cuts for up to 4 hours a day. Well, not 4 hours a day, more than that. It's 3 times a day, and at 4 hours each time. Sometimes it can be 2 hours, so you might have 2 hours, it goes off, then you'll have power for 4 hours, goes off for 4 hours, then you have power for another 4 hours and goes off for 2 hours. So generally about 8 hours a day in total that it does go off now at stage 6. Now, this has been ongoing for years, I think for the last 10 years if I'm not mistaken. And as I said, going solar is freaking expensive. So I let it go the last year. I said, no, I can't do this. This is too much of an outlay. Now, there are companies that you can finance it through. And when I work it out and I see how much you actually pay for your system, it's not viable. Well, you're going to be paying like double of what the cost of the system actually is, which is ridiculous. So at this time, I see a lot of people trying to milk people. A lot of people are struggling, interest rates going up, so they're paying more for their bonds, rents, cars, and now on top of it they're doing this financing, but you're paying double of what the system costs, and you're going to pay it over the next 10-15 years. So yeah, please be careful. If you're going to finance your solar system, just make sure that you know what you're getting into. I've heard some terrible stories, so please just make sure you know what you're getting into. So anyways, back to my video. I'm going solar eventually, finally. I'm not ready to go solar yet, but we are in the process of getting there. So I did some more research now over the last 2 months. Started doing some more research and seeing that I saw, damn, I need to get into this. What is the best way for me to get into solar, and the cheapest way for me to get into solar? Instead of calling a company and getting them to sell me a package and come and install it. And the best way that I found is to actually buy the components yourself and then get an installer to come and do it yourself. So just to give you a little bit of an update, let's just step back here a little bit so you guys can just see what's going on. So I got my inverter already. All right, we've got a 8 kVA inverter over here. Now this is a clone, if you want to say that. It's a Sun Magic clone. Set me back about 10.5 grand. You can get more expensive inverters, don't get me wrong. This is by no means even mid-tier. This is like beginner, entry-level, cheap stuff. But to get into it, that's the whole thing. You want to get into it and build up from there. Yeah, if you got the funds to outlay, you got 100K that you can drop and get a decent system, mid-tier stuff, go ahead and do it. But if you want to just get into this and it's freaking expensive, and how do I do this? How do I get into it? So 5-star, you get 2 that I've seen, well, 3. I think it's Pal Mister. Yeah, Pal Mister, 5-star, and Sun Magic. They are your 3 decent beginner entry-level Chinese manufacturers. Sorry, excuse my hands. So we've gone with the Sun Magic 8 kVA over here. Does it actually say? Okay, there we go. So it's 8 kVA, which can produce up to 6,000 watts. All right, so we got this guy, 10.5. Okay, you can get, like I said, it's getting into it. So if you find 8 kVA, I just wanted to future-proof myself a little bit. If you want, you can get a 3 kVA. That will, I mean, a TV produces about 275 watts. A light bulb, depending if you've got an LED, that will be about, what, 10 watts, 15 watts maximum. So you can power quite a few things with a 3 kVA inverter. But I wanted just to future-proof myself a little bit, and I'll see how the system runs. You know, sometimes you pay high-end prices and you can get something a bit cheaper, and it works. As long as it works, that's the main thing. So a 3 kVA I think goes for about 5.5, 6 grand. 5 kVA is about 8.5, and then a 10 kVA, you have to shop around, guys. You have to shop around. This is I try to get the best deal. So when I'm looking for something, I Google the crap out of stuff. So you need to shop around. This same system, I've seen them selling on Takealot for about 22 grand. So you need to shop around. And it was also on special, the system. The normal price is 14 and I paid 10.5. So you need to shop around. Then panels. So I've gotten some panels already. Let me see if we can. Okay, they are behind here. Can we shift the stuff around a little bit just to show you guys? There's the panels. All right, so I've started off, I bought 4 panels at the moment. Picked them up already, and I've just ordered another 2 panels. So these are Yinko, I think that's how you say it, Yinko Solar. You can do some Googles and research on it. So Yinko is quite well known, they are a good quality product. Solar panels, same thing, shop around. I would say in terms of solar panels, you can, when you distinguish like the cheaper brands from the more mid-tier stuff, the price difference is very marginal. These ones I paid 3 grand for each panel. They are 470 kilowatts an hour panels. They're called the Yinko Tigers. So they produce 470 kilowatts an hour, claimed. Now, when you look, for example, at 5-star, you can get 5-star panels. I think those were 500 kilowatts an hour, if I'm not mistaken, or 450, can't remember. Those were selling for 2,700 bucks. So this is in rands. If you're living in South Africa, this is in rands. So 2,700 versus, it's 300 rand difference. For me, I rather pay the 300 rand more and I'm getting a mid-tier brand, or it's between mid-tier and high-tier brand. And no, especially if it's something that's going up on your roof, it's not so easy to exchange. An inverter, it's on your wall, so you can always easily exchange an inverter if you need to. Solar panels is a bit more tricky. You need to climb up on your roof and take them apart and stuff. So I would say solar, with the price difference, it's worth shopping around. Same thing, I shopped around. I found these same panels going for 3.5 and I paid 3 for them, each panel. So the other 2 panels that I bought now is the same. They're also the Yinko Tigers, but those are the 540 watts or 545 watts. I'm picking up those this week. So I've got the panels and I've got the inverter. I just need the battery now, and then obviously installation. Okay. So the inverter set me back 10.5. The panels, these 4 were 12 grand, basically 11,800. Plus I got now the other 2 incoming. Those were 6. So let's round off to about 7,000 plus these 12. You're looking at 19 plus my inverter 10.5, 20. All right, we're sitting on 20,000 rand. Now a battery, I've shopped around. I know which battery I want to get. I'm sure I can get it for about 20 and a half, but worst case scenario, I'll get it for about 22 and a half, around there. So the whole system complete without installation, you're looking at about 42 and a half, all right? 42 and a half, that's going to be 6 solar panels. That's going to give me about almost 3,000 watts of power. That's obviously at optimal running, when the sun is fully up, no clouds and that. 3,000 watts, 6 panels. I'll have my 8 kVA inverter, and then that will be a 4.8 kilowatt an hour battery, lithium battery. Definitely go lithium. You can save money and go gel or lead, But you know what? Rather just save that extra money. This is for the people that want, like I said, want to do a system but don't have that cash to fork out immediately. Build it up. Buy 2 panels this month. Next month, buy 2 panels. Build up your system. You don't need to pay a lump sum all at once. You can get there. So 42 and a half. That will be my system complete. 6 panels, 4.8 kilowatt an hour lithium LiPo 4 battery, and 8 kVA inverter. Installation, same thing. I'm still busy shopping around some more, but I have gotten some decent prices. You're looking at, for this system to install, fully installed with a certificate of compliance, you want to get a certificate of compliance. That's also one reason why I say don't do it yourself. You want to get a certificate of compliance. If you're insured and something happens and you don't have that COC, and whatever caused that incident was your solar setup, you connected something wrong, caused a fire, burnt half your house down, your insurance is not going to pay you out because you don't have that COC. So you want that COC so that if the crap hits the fan, you can show your insurance company it was approved, here it is, and obviously something just happened and you're going to get paid out. The last thing you want is, because of cheaping out on a few $1,000 doing the installation yourself. I know people can do it themselves. I've seen a lot. If you YouTube it, you can do it yourself. But I say, why do that when it can, in the long run, it might cause more hassle for you. So I would say get a qualified installer to do the installation for you and provide you with a COC. So that installation with COC, you're looking at about 6,000-7,000. Okay, so 42 for the system plus another 7, let's call it 7 with a COC, including COC. That brings us up to 49.5. Let's round off 50,000. All right, I've received quotes, obviously not the same inverter, but more higher end inverter. But in terms of battery and solar panels, I would say they pretty much the same. Just then the only difference would be the inverter. Okay, only difference would be in the inverter, where mine cost me 10.5, theirs is going for about 25. But I've received quotes for about 80, between 80 and 100K to do the system. I can do it fully set up for 50K. Yes, I know the inverter is not the best, but it should do the job. It should do the job. Maybe it doesn't have all the functionality in terms of Wi-Fi connectivity, and you can see all these graphs and even colored screens, like these nice inverters have all these colored screens and stuff like that. Sure, it might not have that. But remember, guys, we want to get into solar. Do you have 80, 100K lying around that you can just splash out and get that system? No. Look for, if you really want to do it properly and you're like, no, I'd rather just save up and get a decent inverter once off, then do that. You don't need to go my route. You can save up a little bit more and you can spend that 25K or 30K and get yourself a decent inverter. Obviously, it's just going to take you a longer period to get that solar system up and running. For me, I want to get my solar system up and running and see how this inverter operates. If I see it is giving me issues, but it is working, or it's a bit niggly with certain things, but it is working, as long as it's working, that's fine. Later down the road, I can upgrade that inverter and get something else. It's not the end of the world. We want to get into solar and not have load shedding issues, number one. And number two, save on electricity costs. Electricity just is going to go up now in April, 18 point something%. So we're going to be paying more for electricity and not getting electricity. It's just to cover costs because they're not supplying us the energy they're supposed to because of load shedding. So they need to get that money from somewhere. So pump up the price, and it's as if, for them, it's as if load shedding is not happening. They're still earning what they would be getting without load shedding. And next year, it's going to be going up another 12 point something%. So guys, my opinion is do it, don't do it. I'm doing it. I've spoken to a lot of people, a few people, many people, tons of people. And yeah. Also, another reason why it's better to get into it sooner than later is, okay, look, once load shedding does get resolved, which will maybe be in the next 5-10 years, who knows, the pricing on these solar systems will drop down significantly. But till then, you're going to be suffering. Till then, you're going to be suffering. Do you want to suffer? That's entirely up to you guys. This is you can get a generator. Generators are noisy, expensive to run. Diesel, petrol is expensive. It's cheaper to buy a generator than going solar, but you're going to have more outlay. Your return on investment is going to be about 6 to 7 years. After 7 years, you've paid for your system. After 7 years, your system is paid for, and you should be getting electricity for free, or your electricity will be very minimal. I would say stay on the grid. Definitely stay on the grid. Don't get off the grid, because of all this nonsense with Eskom that they want to charge people that have solar and go off the grid or whatever. I would say stay on the grid, get a hybrid. That's what I've got, a hybrid inverter, which means it's still connected to the grid. Let me show you over here, hybrid solar inverter. If you guys want me more to go into depth about what the hybrid inverter is, let me know down in the comments. I'll get more into that for you, explain it more in depth. You get the hybrid inverters, which is a mixture of the solar and grid. Then you get off-grid inverters, which is completely for off-grid solution. I would suggest staying on the grid, going a hybrid, especially if you're doing it slowly. Like me, I've only got 6 panels. It's not going to be capable enough for running my whole system. So I want to be connected to the grid so that it can charge up my battery if my solar is not producing enough power for what I need during the day. Then like that, at least my battery will get charged up through on the grid. So for now, I know my bill is not going to drop significantly, but it will drop. It will drop slightly. And my plan is to obviously get more panels in the future, build it up. We're starting off here. So anyways, I think that's enough of me blabbering on. If you guys want to find out, I'm also new to this, I'm learning, but I have been doing a lot of research. So I do want to do maybe more videos on this topic. If you guys are interested, let me know. Drop it in the comments if you want to find out anything. We can discuss, chat about the solar thing and how it works, what panels do you need, what inverter do you need, and stuff like that. Let's discuss it. Drop me a message in the comments below. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching. Cheers for now.